I'm so glad you made it here today. I'm so glad that you kept fighting, that you didn't give up. I'm just happy about it. I know that people may not understand what you're going through. People may not fully get what you're dealing with. But here's what I can tell you. There are a lot of people who do. There are a lot of people who have been where you've been, who have thought what you thought, felt what you felt. And all those people are here to tell you those stories and help you because they too have reached out and got help. 3 numbers, 988 is all you need. So I know it's not going to be the easiest thing to do. I know it's going to be challenging. But know that your greatest power comes in your ability to know who you are, accept that, and be something greater. Reach out and get help. So before you make a decision that we have to live with, make one that you can live with and get help.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Chiefs beat the Lions without Kelsey.
Of course. I mean, they're going to score 30 points. And why? Because Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball. And with Andy Reid designing the plays, Patrick throwing you the ball, and the Lions not being able to generate enough pressure because the Chiefs, the one place they have spent above market is the offensive line, they're going to hang 30-plus on Detroit when we get there.
It's the huge majority of picks that I have seen are all Chiefs.
That's like Vegas gets it, and everyone in their heart of hearts knows. Week 1, where Mahomes averages 38 a game, where the Chiefs have won 7 in a row, dating back to the Alex Smith era, with Andy Reid with a full offseason to prepare against a bad defense in Arrowhead. I love Kelsey is the greatest tight end in the history of football. They're going to be fine tomorrow without him. They are.
I agree. As we mentioned, are favored by 5.5. Mahomes still undefeated. As we mentioned on opening weekend, or this point, weekday.
Yeah.
Let's start with what I think will happen. I kind of hinted at it with what I just said. I think Mahomes is enough. I do. I think Andy Reid and Mahomes are more than enough. I think the Chiefs will squeak out of Arrowhead with a narrow 1-point win. I think the Lions take a lead at the half. The Chiefs come storming back. The Lions take a late lead, and the Chiefs walk it off with a field goal. Give me the Chiefs to win 31-30. You guys have seen what Mahomes does in Week 1 matchups. Averages over 300-plus yards, 33.9 passer rating. He's never thrown an interception on a season opener game. And he's 5-0. I'm not betting against Mahomes.
And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute. Now what? Everybody quiet now. Now what? What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Do you believe?
What's going on, Pride Nation? Let's get it on a Victory Friday when everybody else was out there putting out these sideways comments. It was your boy who said we was beating the Chiefs. Now, don't get me twisted. I got to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly with it all. But people, I need to remind some of the people of how much of an underdog they made our damn Lions. Shout out to my man, Adam. I love that he celebrated the win because he still shows his fandom. But we know what you picked, brother. We know what you picked. But that's not the point. The point is, too often I get to come on here, break things down, and it's not that I'm saying these things to be necessarily right, but that I'm saying them because I know it's going to age well. I know that it's going to come out a certain type of way. Now, make no mistake about it. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly about this game. And it was a lot of it in every area. But the one thing that we cannot do is act as if though that people really gave us a chance. Now, everybody probably seen the Nick. Some people probably never seen the Nick comments. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen Adam's comments, and he picked the Chiefs. And in most cases, a lot of people did. I think it was like 94% of the people or 95% of the people picked the Chiefs, right? I'm about to get into a whole lot of people. I'm not going to make a lot of people happy. I'm just going to show you why I think so differently than so many other people. I'm also going to tell you why things are so dope. Y'all know I do my shout-outs. Let me get into it. Barbary Lions in the building. Giovanni Lions in the building. Tim Hutchinson's in the building. BD Buster's in the building. Looney Tunes in the building. My man Mike Kimber, a.k.a. Lions Talks About Chat Sports, is in the building. D-Map Zuna's in the building. My homeboy Greg is in the building. El Tony Jenkins in the building. Patty Grimes is in the building. I make sure I ain't miss nobody. We got my man Malik Akaito, how about I say that right, in the building. Anthony from Royal Lions UK is in the building. The Singles Dad Club is in the building. Steve O's in the building. The real Mr. Bean is in the building. That Fan Man's in the building. Go Lions in the building. We got Dan Spanos in the building. We got Adam in the building who says, hey, that's me. You is a silly guy, man. Billy Venable is in the building. We got, make sure I don't miss nobody. I want people up in here. Dark Twerf is in the building. C. Perry's in the building. Black Spirit is in the building. Donkey Kong's in the building. Mr. Marcus 42. Mel Gibbs. I think I hit everybody. Chrome is in the building. I missed no one. First thing first, people, ladies and gentlemen, when nobody gave us a chance, I did. I did. I've been saying it for months that we're going to beat the Chiefs. I pointed out every single way that we can do it. I say, look, it's funny to me how everybody has somehow just decided to crown the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes. And while people were jocking Patrick Mahomes and doing all these things with Patrick Mahomes, I'm just thinking to myself, when did he become invincible? Like, it's not like he ain't never lost. He did lose to the Colts last year, right? When did he become invincible? It blew my mind that people treated the Lions like, it'd be a close win if they did get it, but for the most part, it could be a close loss. Yeah, no. If you just looked at the matchups, it was there. And the most frustrating part about all of this is not only did we get a game that played into a way that I think the Lions should have attacked it, but didn't attack, I'm going to break it down to you in the way of the good, bad, and the ugly. I'm also going to be going after a lot of different people in the media who decided to make some offhanded comments, in my opinion. You just can't let people win. And that's what reminded me of the do you believe part. That's what reminded me of, like, now you believe now? What part? What do you need to happen? People are saying a lot of strange things. Now, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to get my spill out, and then I'm going to get people in here to talk your talk to me. Feel free to check me. I'm all for it. Everything on the table today. But there's some things in there that we got to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into the good. We won. we won. And what looked like an improbable opportunity, we won. The rookies, holy smokes. To every person who ever said positional value, ouch, it's not looking too good. I've always been a believer that positional value was a joke, and that in most cases that nobody's really going to care about positional value if a person performs. I've never thought about it like, oh, you gotta really do this if you really want to succeed. And nobody cares. Nobody gives two flying nickels. Two flying nickels. It just makes no sense. And the reality is this. That game was the most frustrating game I ever seen that made me happy, yet sad and frustrated. Aiden Hutchinson. Good grief. Like, you know the thing about Aiden Hutchinson, I always give props to players when I see progression in their skill set. That man was displaying new pass rush moves this day. Like, I'm like, oh, we added some things to our little arsenal. Okay. And it was so crazy because it's going to lend itself to the bad, but it was so crazy to see how he was doing these tackles. But every rookie did something that stood out to me, that made me proud. I was so proud of Aiden Hutchinson. I was like, oh my God, he had a counter. Y'all don't understand. Every time I look at a player, I do pay attention to the little things. I do. I do pay attention to the little things because the little things matter. They matter. There was one play, and I don't think people noticed this, but there was one play where Broderick Martin, yeah, I said that right, Broderick Martin just dog walked Creed Humphreys to the quarterback. And what should have been called a hold, which we're going to get into that real soon, it was overlooked. It was treated like, what the hell? But he still did something. Brian Branch. Oh my God. Listen, people don't understand how impressive what Brian Branch did. It's not the fact that he got the pick six. That's not just it. Well, if that wasn't Martin, then it was 94. Well, no, Martin is 98. It's one of the two. But the dude, he dog walked him over to the quarterback. That's who it was. So wherever the D tackle was in the middle, that might have been Benito. I'm almost sure it's one of them. But he dog walked him and got choked up the whole time. It doesn't make a difference for me. The point I'm trying to make is in these moments, I'm seeing our players perform and make plays that were not going to be talked about. Other things that stood out to me with Brian Branch, it's not the fact that he got it back to the end zone. It was the fact that he had the wherewithal to not only catch the ball, but not lose his vision of where he wanted to go. That was huge. I know everybody's going to talk about the play where Jack Campbell broke the pass up. I've always felt that Jack Campbell was better as a coverage linebacker than a run defender, but he had one run play where I was very proud of Jack Campbell. Very proud. Gibbs did something this game that I don't remember seeing on his college tape. He showed so much oomph behind his runs. Every run he went to go finish it. He lowering shoulders. He's spinning off people. Like he just refusing to go down. Just beautiful. Laporta, I think he had 5 catches thrown his way, caught all 5. I just was happy with all of that. To see it like, yo, this is how it's supposed to look. Good. To see the entire offensive line play together was just good to see. Good. We didn't have turnovers from the quarterback. Good that we didn't have bad coaching decisions in the second half to fourth quarter. But the bad is where I'm trying to hold myself back and contain myself. Because the bad is where I get so annoyed. The bad is where I get pissed off. When I'm watching officials stand there and watch people line up damn near next to the quarterback and it's cool. When I'm watching my damn DN destroy tackle at the tackle, 2 or 3 blocks at a time, getting choked up and no one throws a freaking flag. When the tackle gets to pick his feet up and put it down 800 times and not be called for a false start. When they sit there and watch these things happen and then have the audacity to throw a flag on my running back who got his ass bulldozed over and say he tripped somebody. Really? That's what we doing? If there was ever a time for Detroit versus everybody, that was it. Bad. You come out, run the ball in the first place, get 7 yards, and just proceed to go 2 passes when this literally was just like 2nd and 3, then 3rd and 3. Why? Bad. Ben Johnson's play calling. You heard exactly what I just said. Don't at me. You heard exactly what I just said. That play calling was atrocious. And it made no sense. I spent half my damn time screaming, run the damn ball. Just run the ball. That game shouldn't even been that damn close. And the reality is, even if Travis Kelce played and Chris Jones played, I can see literally how we would have still won the game. Bad. Marvin Jones fumble. I understand defense make plays too, but come on, man. Come on. Bad. Fans sitting there quickly talking about, oh, Marvin Jones is done. He had literally 6 passes thrown his way. Targeted him 6 times. He literally caught 2. So we can eliminate 2 of those 6. He had 1 pass he dropped, 1 he fumbled, which is one of the ones he caught. Right? So that means that's 3 passes right there. The other 3 were all high and away from him balls, which is another bad. Jared Goff's connection with the receivers was slightly off. He was throwing it either high or in areas where I could not, necessarily understand why he putting it there. Other areas that were bad to me was our linebackers, because at one point I felt Kansas City made it their personal business to go after them. It just is what it is. Bad. Not being committed to the run in the first half. Like this, and it's not, and I want people to understand something. When I say commit to the run, when I say commit to the run, I want people to understand something. It was 3rd and 3. And you threw the ball multiple times. Multiple times. And you did that where Chris Jones is not out there. It's 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. And you're throwing the damn ball. Why? Why? They literally could not stop the run. They would get a stop here and there, but for the most part, they had no answer for the run. And for all the people going to say they were loading the box, it didn't even matter. They loaded the box at the end. It didn't matter. Running the ball is a mentality. Bad. And yes, y'all ain't going to like this, but it is what it is. Giving up the big plays. You would think when you get a team that goes into 3rd and 17 that you're not going to give up a 34-yard pass on the next play. I didn't think that. I didn't believe that was going to be the case. But that's what happened. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, improved secondary. Come on. Bad. There was at least 3 separate times that we should have had an interception. One was dropped and went through the hands, aka drop, of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. The other one, in which I believe if Kirby Joseph just keeps running, he can pick it, but he just, nope. And the third one was where Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was looking for the hit versus the interception. And I believe if he went for the ball, he would have had it. And the best part about it is I know for a fact that everything I'm saying is true because even Dan Campbell to say we got a lot to clean up. It was not pretty. Let me go back to some good. The 4th down fake punt. All you people, I'm talking to every single last one of you. You know who you are. I don't have to say your names individually. All you people who got on the media train, who got on here and bitched and moaned and complained about the 4th downs and he taking too many 4th downs and stuff, hold my beer. That's trash. The ironic part is when I tried to defend this and I used multiple examples and said, well, Andy Reid does it all the time. Nobody seems to care. Even when they lose, they don't talk about it. And what happens yesterday? Andy Reid sits out there, looks at his quarterback who says, hey, we're going for it on 4th and 20. You're the head coach. Then they get the false start or whatever the damn penalty was, 5 yards. It's 4th and 25. We're still going for it. With 3 times out, a 2-minute warning. Great. And that wasn't even the call that lost them the game. It was that terrible trick play or whatever you want to think it was that the Lions completely blew up. So good job on stepping your defense up in the second half. Good job stepping that defense up in the second half. But let's get back to some more of this bad. There were a few times where I saw with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery miss wide open holes that would have gave us more yards. They'll clean that up, but it was still bad. Good. Your tight end laid a bunch of significant blocks. Good. To the people who was wondering why we kept Jason Kabenda, that's why. because he laid some very significant blocks. Good. Pascal showed up. Bad. They did not play James Houston enough, especially in crucial passing downs. They just didn't. And when they did, they asked him to drop it to coverage, and I was insulted because that's BS. They did not play him enough. They just didn't. I wanted more James Houston. And when they finally rushed him, he gets to hold on to the guy's ankle for dear life. And I'm not going to say bad about us not getting sacks on Patrick Mahomes because we were being held the whole game and officials didn't care to call it until they did. Every big play Patrick Mahomes had yesterday, who, by the way, he did not play well. And that's it ain't because he didn't have Travis Kelce. No. It ain't because Kadarius Toney dropped passes. We had drop passes too. It was just the fact that people didn't understand that most of those big plays came on what should have been holding penalties. Every single one. His big run for the first down, I'm like, God damn. You literally tackled Charles Harris to the ground. Nothing. There was even one play where I'm almost sure, and I'm going to find it, but I'm almost sure there was one play where he had an intentional grounding. There wasn't a single red jersey near it. I'm waiting for the replay. I go and look at nothing. He didn't even get out of the box. No flag. Everything over there was literally like the white for the Lions. Everything. No flag. People out there talking about, oh my God, if they had Chris Jones and if they had Travis Kelce, they would have did this. They forget it's the same team that gave 35 points up to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And yeah, I know they won, but miss me with the BS. That defense ain't good. That defense ain't good. I thought it was terrible. This is one of my uglies. We didn't utilize the screen appropriately. And by utilizing the screen, I mean give the damn screen to Gibbs. Because them linebackers couldn't run with him. We didn't do as many passes out the backfield to Gibbs as I would like to see. We didn't do it. There was no answer the defense had for Amon-Ra St. Brown. He literally had his way with them. Literally. I'm just pointing out all the things that stood out to me. I see you in the back, Crimson. Hold tight. I'm seeing it all. And I'm just pointing it out to say, look, I posted what the stats were at halftime. Because I wanted people to take a look. I wanted you to remember what happened in that first half. So not only did you win the time of possession, not only did you do enough to stay in there, you didn't do enough, in all honesty, which is an ugly for me, to say, you know what? Yeah, that's it. Your offense scored 14 points. Thank God for the pick six. Thank God the receiver had a bad day, which I'm not apologizing for, to be truthful about. I don't want to hear it. Because it's been plenty of times where we didn't have stuff and people had no problem saying same old Lions, talking to some of you fans. But look at the numbers from the first half. It's very telling. Very telling. You go into the half down 14-7. And when you really look at it and you're being honest about it, guess what? You really should have went into the half up at least 21-7. If you don't get the fumble when we was in the red zone, we don't have this problem. The Lions left a lot out there, but here's a good for you. The Lions didn't play their best football and still won. That's crazy. Think about that. They didn't play their best football, but still won. Then here's the part that people don't want to talk about. Here's another good for you. Kansas City was 0 for 7. 0 for 7. I'm going to say that again. 0 for 7. Kansas City was 0 for 7 in the entire second half on third downs.
Do you believe?
It's crazy. Here's another fun fact. The Detroit Lions basically gave a damn clean pocket to not only their quarterback, but they basically made nice gaping holes for their running back to run out the clock. And the defense, I can't even believe this, the defense carried us this game.
Do you believe?
I'm just trying to get people to understand what happened here. If you would have told me that the defense would be the reason that we would have a chance to win this game, I would have been like, it was my biggest concern. I can't even say that this game was a game you can judge the Detroit Lions defense on in terms of how they can stop a mobile quarterback because our players were being held the entire time. I can't tell you that this is a game that you can look at and say that the Lions have fixed their run defense because Kansas City is a pass-first team, and they don't run the ball. And a few times that they had success running the ball, yeah, you guessed it, we were being held. Or the guys were just basically blatantly not lined up appropriately. I can't tell you how many times I sat there and I watched plays happen where I'm trying to understand what was the thinking process behind it. If you go back and look at the play-by-play calling on it, it's very suspect to see how Ben Johnson called this game. But I'm going to tell you where the ugly come in at. Because this is where it gets real ugly. Outside of the poor officiating, which had to be called out by their own commentating official, the amount of fans who had the great, amazing golden gun from 007 golden bullet loaded up that is known as Aaron Glenn. I can't tell you how many people was ready to fire off, this is what happened when Aaron Glenn's your defensive coordinator. And when we win, I hear not a single person talk about what Aaron Glenn's defense did or a single person discuss what Aaron Glenn did to make adjustments in the second half or if anything. I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of those people who was ready to throw the sacrificial lamb to the wolves. I didn't hear that. Where was that at? There were people already out there, Aaron Glenn did this and Aaron Glenn did that. Meanwhile, Ben Johnson stunk it up. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth, which is more of the ugly. It just is what it is. You won the game because your offense got some touchdowns and your defense made some huge plays. Not only did they harass the quarterback, they made tackles behind the line of scrimmage. They snuffed out some of the stupidest plays I ever seen in my entire life. I have no clue what the game plan was on what they were trying to call when they ran that fake play or that dumb play that they called. But every person out here who would have watched that game would have told me that I expect the Lions to score points. And they scored 14. But everybody was locked in low for Aaron Glenn. Yeah, this is why we're losing. The people who picked the Chiefs to win was ready to just give it out to Aaron Glenn. It was so obvious, so easy to talk about. Here's another good for you. Your fan base showed up and showed out in somebody else's stadium. You really couldn't tell what side is what because it was a sea of red and blue. Meanwhile, everybody who didn't go to the game was over here ready to lock and load for Aaron Glenn because he's the real problem. Yeah, that's it. He's the problem. Which is, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Jack Campbell didn't start the game at linebacker. Derek Barnes and Alex Anzalone did. And Alex Anzalone had some miscues. Malcolm Rodriguez, although he recovered well, allowed that running back to catch that pass. Thank God that somebody's like put him back in and leave him in, because I noticed that with Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes, we got real interesting. It's just ridiculous. And then I get to see stuff like this. Can't play this one because I don't want to get a YouTube problem. I don't want to have YouTube on my head. But I get to watch stuff like this. First of all, shout out to Rex Ryan. Shout out to Rich Eisen. And all the people in the outside media who decided to say, you know what? This not fair. That's not fair. Shout out to them. But let's talk about this comment, because this is ugly too. Hold tight for me, Don. Y'all coming up next, right after this. This is ugly right here too.
Team said that this win would have an asterisk attached to it. Do you agree?
No. Absolutely 100%. No way in hell do I agree with that. No way. You know, it should have been an asterisk that guy was lined up in the backfield the whole game, the right tackle. That should have been the freaking asterisk. I mean, that was ridiculous. And by the way, look at the movement he gets. Well, that's called a false start. You should have called him for, I mean, he wasn't lined up. They never had enough players on the line of scrimmage. All right. And he's a false start every time. And the fact you got this Aiden Hutchinson, who, by the way, is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You're trying to get all the edge that you want. But lining up in the backfield, it just looks stupid. And you allowed it. That's something that might be an asterisk. There's no way the league's going to allow that to happen next week.
How did they let that happen, Rex? How does the head of officials not say to these guys at halftime, guys, you're making everybody look silly here?
Yeah, I have no idea. And I thought it was great. I think it was Terry McCauley that was in the booth. Yeah. And they protect each other well. But he finally just said, no, it's absolutely illegal. And good for him to do that. I thought that was great, because most of those guys don't have the guts to say it. He absolutely, it was killing him. Being an outstanding official, it was killing him. And that's like, he's doing it for what? To gain a huge advantage. Yeah. You know, and I thought it was interesting. Late in that game, and almost in the entire from the second half on, it seemed like they had to chip Hutchinson anyway. You know, so they were chipping him and had the guy lined up in the backfield. So I disagree, and I love Mike Tirico, but I totally disagree with him. There's no asterisk here.
Man, listen. The media, you should listen. I went to Undisputed, and they're like, oh, the only reason they won is because they didn't have. Shut up, Michael Irvin. Shut up. We're just going to act like the defense didn't touch our quarterback. They couldn't stop us from running the ball up the gut. Shut up. Mike Tirico, you from Michigan. I'm disappointed in you. Asterisk? Kick rocks, bro. That's BS. Let me bring in some people, man. I'm happy, but I want to point out what I saw factually. Detroit D, what up, though?
What up, though, Luke?
Hey, what you got for the people, man?
Nothing much, man. I just wanted to say I think it was a good win, even though, there's a lot of things they still need to clean up. But I can't wait to see the growth of that secondary later on in the season, man. I think it's going to be something nice, and they're going to be aggressive. I like what I seen Laporte out there doing with his blocking game. He showed his hands and his little versatility. Gibbs gonna be a real problem once they really implement him in the offense.
He real problem. How many carries you think he had in the first half?
Maybe 2?
Seems almost impossible, right? It seems almost like it's not real. To sit there and say that.
I want to see him on the field, move him around like a chess piece, use him like Percy Harvin, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, to think that Gibbs, they gave Gibbs a total of 3 carries in the first half to 2 catches. Like, no. So I'm picking up what you're putting down, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he needed to get the ball more. And I agree with you. He's going to be a huge problem. It seemed like every time he would cut, it looked like, I'm like, dude, he should have had at least to my count, I counted 4 plays I remember off the top of my head where it could have easily been a tackle for a loss.
Oh,
but
he
it
running
went
hard
further.
out there, Luke. He running hard.
Dude,
He ain't tipping. He not
was
tipping
lowering
out
his
there, man.
shoulder.
Oh yeah, he won't. He's trying to get every yard, but what he gonna have to learn how to do though is he gonna have to learn how to get out of bounds so he can stay healthy though in the long run.
I get it. But it was even one play where he slipped up, and I think if he would have got his foot and he would have scored on it. He just slipped.
Most definitely. I like the defense overall too, man.
We won because of them.
Most definitely. They carried this Hutch with constant pressure, man. That was a joke what the tackle was doing. They let him get away with all night. Even when Houston got in the game, he was being hugged out there. You know what I mean? It's the referees should be ashamed of themselves. You know what I'm saying? But we got the win. We didn't beat ourselves like we would have in the past. Like I said, I like the confidence in our team. Gardner, I like his swag. He the mouthpiece for the team. I like that. I'm liking what I see, man. They building something special in the D, man. It's been a long time, but I think we on the right track. We got the right people in place, and I think it's time, Luke, that you give Brad Holmes his props with these draft picks, man. They starting to pay dividends.
Well, here's the thing: I've never not gave him props. What I've always said is when you look at Brad Holmes' attention, it has been to make everything better for Jared Goff, and our biggest issues were on defense. But what the fan base wanted people to believe is no, it's not that. It's Aaron Glenn. But then,
I mean, he ain't got nothing to cook with. How can a chef, prepare great
and
meals?
that's how I look at it.
Great ingredients.
That's how I look at it. You can't ask me. You can't tell me you want me to make you filet mignon, but all I got is charcoal and lighter fluid. You give me something to make the meal.
Hey, man.
And so that's all I'm saying. And on the other part of it was I got tired of him taking these hurt players because guess what? At the end of the day, these hurt players that you were taking, we don't have the use of them.
Yeah. I'm just glad Levi was able to get out there, and play a little bit, man. I'm, glad to see him on the field. I'm telling you, it's gonna be very interesting this season, man. I see our baseman is 9, 10, and I see our ceiling. We can stay healthy. So we can win 12, 13 games, man.
Hey. Well, stay tuned because I think we getting off to a fresh start and going into the bye week looking real pretty, man. Let me get a few more people in here, man. You can hang in the background if you want, and I'll bring you back in once I get everybody else through. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
All right. Let me bring in Manny. I haven't seen Manny in a while. Manny, what up, though?
What's going on, Luke? I just wanted to hear your insight on a couple of things in our secondary. So, of course, we see Tracy Walker, former captain, $25 million contract on the bench. I want your thoughts on that. And then also when Emmanuel Mosley comes back, I'm guessing they're going to bench Jerry for him. Does he go to CB1?
Oh, I lost Manny. No. Manny, no, get back here. I was in it. To answer the first question, Manny, in terms of Tracy Walker technically being benched, I think when you look at what the Lions' game plan was, I think it made sense for them to not play him in particular. I think if Travis Kelce played, Tracy would have played because now all of a sudden that's the guy you're going to have shadowing him, right? But given the fact that they were just trying to dink and dunk their way down there, I was okay with what they had out there personnel-wise. I wasn't okay without seeing Houston as much, but I was okay with him being on the bench. It was one of them games where it was like, look, if they're playing well and they're performing well, it's all good. So I get it. In terms of your question about
Mosley.
Oh, there you go. All right. In terms of your question about Mosley, I look at it like this. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Mosley is whatever to me. I hate to say it. He's whatever to me. The truth is, when you got good safety play, it can work itself out. I still think, even with Cam Sutton, I still think that he has problems with deep passes. Jacobs, Jacobs had problems with deep pass. And when I look at Mosley coming back off an injury, I'm not so sure I feel confident enough to be like, Jacobs, have a seat. Mosley's here. Like, I'm not being funny, but what has he done to warrant him to move up to CB1 or 2? Other than you just signed him. He going to have to earn that spot. And if he earns it and I can see it on the field, cool. But I'll be sure to keep Jacobs on standby swiftly to bring him in. I'm not so impressed with him in terms of it. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, because Tracy has to be a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say he's pissed off or anything. I don't know him, but like, he was captain last year. He got a big contract, and then he's on punt return. You know what I mean? It's like, damn.
I put it this way. When you're winning, nobody cares, right? Because you're still going to have a role. It's going to be some games where they're going to have to make some adjustments and some changes. And guess what?
Yeah.
You can't tell me that when you saw Brian Branch reach for his leg, you didn't think, oh my God, this is the worst case scenario. But hey, here's the benefit of it. You still had a Tracy Walker that was on standby. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and our defense is so versatile. Like the way they were switching from single high with Johnson, and then it'll be Kirby once the.
I lost Manny for a minute. I think we're in a bad reception. Manny, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, and I'll just say I love how versatile our defense is. Like the way they were rotating our linebackers, and the way Kirby and CJ were rotating from single high to nickel. It was beautiful to watch.
But see, it boils down to something that I talked about a long time ago when we had other coaches here, and they kept bringing Tracy Walker up into the box, and I'm like, this ain't him. That's not no. You notice that they did not do that with Kirby Joseph. I don't know why teams, including our current staff, have tried this move him up in the box stuff, but that's not him. He's Kirby Joseph and him are the same people. Literally, let them roam, let them be in space and move around. But I get exactly what you're saying, brother. I want to grab a few more people if you want to hang in the back with me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's all I had on that.
All right, appreciate it, brother. Again, it's a victory Friday. Y'all ain't gonna get too much angry out of me. The things that I hated. I stand clear on it. I hated how people just literally just laid down and talked about how great Patrick Mahomes was. And it was insulting because every time you would hear people say stuff like, oh, the Lions are going to lose, they would say stuff like, oh, because it's Patrick Mahomes. Like nobody else is playing with him. But then when the game don't go the way that they thought it was going to go, oh, it's Kadarius Toney. When did y'all sign Kadarius Toney to the Lions? Man, bye. Miss me with that. Let me bring in Crimson Shadow. What up, though?
Hey, how you doing? Heck of a game. Heck of a game, gotta say. It was the most week one game of week one games. It was definitely rough to watch. You saw me in the chat. I was ripping Ben Johnson a new one, calling him. It's like, hey, I didn't realize you didn't eat your Snickers yet. You turned into Jim Bob Cooter.
I mean, it was frustrating to see. Like this. Listen to the people who think I'm making this up. I'm going to read to you. These are the actual play-by-play transactions. It's 1st and 10.
Mm-hmm.
David Montgomery off the right guard, 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3. Jared Goff pass incomplete, short right. 3rd and 3. Again, this would have been a perfect down the run because there's no Chris Jones out there. Your line is fully healthy together, and they're not out there. What do? Incomplete pass deep right to Josh Reynolds. Why are you throwing it there?
Exactly. And the fact of the matter is, it's like that Ben didn't get the memo that Chris wasn't playing. It's like, dude, you know you can run it up the middle. If you run it up the middle with David or Gibbs, you're not going to stop him. And at the end, it's like, I don't know, maybe freaking Dan walked over, whispered there, like, hey, Benny, you do realize that Chris isn't there, right? Wait, he's not? And then started running up the middle. That's literally how he scored the next touchdown, was just, what do? We run the fucking ball. What do you know? When we don't force the pass, we score points. What a fucking concept.
Just look at the second drive. 1st and 10. Right? Off left tackle, 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Incomplete pass to Marvin Jones. Which that ball, we're going to leave that alone. 3rd and 7. Jared Goff, short pass to Marvin Jones for 17 for a 5-yard gain. 4th and 2. Now we fake punt. All right. So we good. We back in it. All right, here we go again. First play, 1st and 10. Jahmyr Gibbs off right guard, 1 yard.
Yep.
Now we back. 2nd and 9. Jared Goff, short pass to St. Brown. 1st and 10. All right, cool. Just not my pattern, his. 1st and 10. Short pass to Josh Reynolds. Run up the middle for 4 yards.
I mean, I can get he's trying to establish the pass, but you're forcing it. And if you force something, you're going to F something up. He's done this before. I think I remember this kind of reminded me of the Patriots game where he kept trying to force everything.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just frustrating because when you look at it, it literally was like 1 run to 2 passes was like the pattern. Then it would be like something like weird passes too, like a screen. And all them batted balls, I'm not blaming the offensive line on all them batted balls that they had. That's on the quarterback. I don't even like. Come on,
the O-line didn't have the best game in the world. They could have been better, but in the second half, they woke up. I mean, I saw Penei Sewell give up just like Karlaftis just run right by him, and I was pissed about that. I was like, dude, you want that golden jacket or not? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, what's going on, B for real? What's going on, Detroit.Sports? What's going on?
It was throwing me off because you were looking for Houston. I was looking for Houston. You were like, you didn't see him. I'm like, I could have sworn I saw his number until somebody pointed out to it. So he changed his number. I didn't know he changed his freaking number.
No, yeah, he was 41. And I'm like, listen, I'm not making this up. If you go back and you look, it was 3rd and 2, he wasn't on the field. 3rd and 5, he wasn't on the field. 3rd and 2, Mahomes short pass to Jerry McKinnon. That's the one he got on Melko Rodriguez. All right, no big deal. Yeah. 3rd and 5, Mahomes scrambled. That was a holding call. I don't know how in the hell. I don't know
what that is anymore.
Yeah, I know, but Kaminsky got him. So okay, cool. Right now, flip it. They come out after we score our touchdown. They come out. It was 3rd and 8. He wasn't on the field. I'm like, yo, what the hell? I mean, come on. So it was frustrating to say the least. That's all I'm saying. One funky Lion fan says, I don't want to see Marvin on the field anymore.
Okay.
Three of the passes wasn't even catchable.
Okay, to be fair, let me defend Marvin in this one. Here's the thing about Goff and receivers. He's always done this. He takes time to develop a receivers. He's not immediate. This happened last time with Amon-Ra when he first got drafted in the league. Didn't see anything until him to the second half. It happened with Khalif Raymond. Nothing really happened till the second half either with that. Same thing happened with DJ Shark. How long did it take DJ Shark to get into motion with Goff? And then all of a sudden, second half, you love him and you miss him.
I mean, it just what it boils down to is we didn't play a lot of people in the preseason, and so I guess it was a kind of a rush of it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Daryl Thompson says, "Did we win or lose? I'm confused with the content." Well, if you might want to go back to the beginning. I was real patty early on, but I'm also doing the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of the game. I'm realistic. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There was a lot in I'm mad that we only won by 1 point. I feel like we should have won by more than 10. I had us winning by 10, but looking at how it played out, I'm like, it was just some things in there that need to be cleaned up. That's all I'm saying. Black Spirit says fake punt was a stupid decision, but we scored so it can hide in the corner. And see, it's funny because nobody, and I mean nobody, they did this before, Black Spirit, all last season where they kept saying, oh, he going for it on 4th too much. This is a dumb decision. But everybody forget when he did that fake punt, we was on our 17-yard line. And if we don't get that fake punt, which everybody all of a sudden forgive because now it's a gutsy call. That's a balls deep call. It takes big kahunas for that one. Because we got it.
It kind of does, but in all honesty, here's the thing. You weren't getting any momentum. Football is a momentum sport. And let's be fair, you need to get your offense going. And what happened?
But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is on one hand, you judge the head coach for going for it on 4th, but when we get it, it's the only time you happy. No, you just look at, like I can respect Black Spirit saying that was a stupid decision because look where we were at. I understand it. But the problem that I had with it was like, look, you called it, but after you called it, you still didn't run the ball. And that's all I'm pointing out to you. Let me let somebody else up in here, Crimson. Give me 1 second, all right? Oh, wait, did he just click off? No, he didn't. No, he's still there. All right. My man Bandit in the building. What up, though?
What up, bro?
Hey, what you got for me, man?
I got some good, the bad, ugly. Good, the bad, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Man, he could have had 3 picks, bro.
I felt like he could have had some 3 picks. One of them went right through his hands, and the other one, I'm like, you going for the hit. Go for the ball. I get it, but go for the ball.
The ugly, man, that got to be them goddamn refs. And
they was terrible.
Shit, man.
They was terrible.
And where was our coaches at, man? Like, what? Nobody else seen that and saying something to them, even at halftime. Like,
see, I can't argue that because I wasn't able to see what was going on at halftime and what was going on the field. You know what I mean? So I can't argue and say that, hey, it wasn't there.
And my good is, man, all the stuff everybody talking about golf, man. I think golf did this thing, man. For real, like
golf did enough for me not to be mad at him. But I think he definitely missed some throws, but I can care less because there was at least 3 throws where I was like, okay, somebody in his face, that was no problem. He delivered the ball and he did it with conviction, and I was happy. I'm happy we got the win. I just wish that Ben Johnson game plan for this game was different. Because I feel like at one point he was too conservative.
It seemed like they were scared to call plays and everything. Like, I ain't get that at all.
Yeah. So like I said, I get it. I get exactly what they're saying. It's like, yo, it is what it is. Shout out to Dirty Glove William. I'm not listening. For those who missed it, I'm gonna give it to you one more time. Hopefully I don't get in no trouble for it. I opened the show up with the following video.
Chiefs beat the Lions without Kelsey.
Of course. I mean, they're going to score 30 points. And why? Because Patrick Mahomes was throwing him the ball. And with Andy Reid designing the plays, Patrick throwing you the ball, and the Lions not being able to generate enough pressure because the Chiefs, the one place they have spent above market is the offensive line, they're going to hang 30-plus on Detroit when we get there.
It's the huge majority of picks that I have seen are all Chiefs.
That's like Vegas gets it, and everyone in their heart of hearts knows. Week 1, where Mahomes averages 38 a game, where the Chiefs have won 7 in a row, dating back to the Alex Smith era, with Andy Reid with a full offseason to prepare against a bad defense in Arrowhead. I love Kelsey is the greatest tight end in the history of football. They're going to be fine tomorrow without him. They are.
I agree. As we mentioned, our favored by 5.5. Mahomes still undefeated. As we mentioned on opening weekend, or this point, weekday.
Yeah.
Let's start with what I think will happen. I kind of hinted at it with what I just said. I think Mahomes is enough. I do. I think Andy Reid and Mahomes are more than enough. I think the Chiefs will squeak out of Arrowhead with a narrow 1-point win. I think the Lions take a lead at the half. The Chiefs come storming back. The Lions take a late lead, and the Chiefs walk it off with a field goal. Give me the Chiefs to win 31-30. You guys have seen what Mahomes does in Week 1 matchups. Averages over 300-plus yards, 33.9 passer rating. He's never thrown an interception on a season opener game. And he's 5-0. I'm not betting against Mahomes.
And I'm about to get comfortable in a minute. Now what? Everybody quiet now. Now what? What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe now? Huh? Do you believe?
Make no mistake, people. I started the show out beyond happy. I spotlighted very specific people for a reason, not because of like I wanted to go after them and attack them per se, but I wanted people to understand that you didn't have this backing. Now, Adam, shout out to Adam. He went up there. He had his fun. He celebrated it. He was excited. But I didn't forget that he picked the Chiefs. And I get it. You can pick somebody else and be happy that your team won. But every person that I heard talk about this game, every single person that I heard, the only thing that they said was the Lions are going to lose because of Patrick Mahomes. That's all I heard. And it drove me nuts. Every time I would ask him, and Dan, even shout out to Dan Talk Sports. He's going to come on and join us at some point. But even he was like, oh, we're going to do this. I got us winning by this. And y'all, I got y'all starting off this and this. And I said, well, here, I got bad news for you. We starting out 1-0, so your prediction is already messed up. And I'm just want people to understand. This is a victory. This is a good thing. But once you get a victory, you don't just get to sit there and just be happy and not analyze what really happened. Your offensive coordinator, who was finna be a head coach, didn't have a good outing on this first game. Okay? Your defensive coordinator, who everybody had the golden gun bullet for, actually did have a good outing. And it's not his fault that people get to line up 18 feet in the damn backfield and keep moving their foot up and down and not be called for. It's not his fault when he's getting choked out by two people. And to the people who think that, oh, well, you can just get a victory and that's it, it's all about wins, that's prototypical casual fan. We don't want casual fans. We want you to be aware of what's happening in these games, and we want you to stand up and say, you know what, this went well and that didn't go well. Go ahead, Bandit. Get the people what you
bro,
what you
especially
got,
like them second half adjustments, bro. Like, when have you ever seen Detroit come out going to halftime and make second half adjustments?
Do you believe?
Our defense look good, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
but Brian Branch went down, bro. They didn't put Tracy Walker in.
No, I didn't say that. I said when he went down, I felt beyond comfortable if they did put him in. You knew that you had him there in case he did go down.
Yeah, when I seen Will Harris on the field, I was like, oh my God, here we go do this again.
It didn't last long. I think it was, 1 or 2 plays.
and everybody talking about Patrick Mahomes, like he was never comfortable in that pocket. He scrambled the whole game, bro.
Bruh.
The whole game he was on his toes, bro. Like
people don't realize this neither. It's another thing that I don't think people talk about. Again, it blows my mind at some of the things that we talked about and how we skip over it. But I was paying attention. Their leading rusher was Patrick Mahomes. They couldn't run the ball
at all.
But that's because they're not a run-first team. And when they were forced to try to do it, it was not going to work. If you take those, they ran for 90 yards, right? 90 yards. That's what they ran for as a team on 23 rushing attempts. All right. And 45 of those 90. 45 of those 90 yards came from Patrick Mahomes rushing on what should have been called penalties.
And we ain't get
45. So that means that they had if you take out the 6 runs out of that 23, take those 6 out, that's 17. On 17 carries, they had literally 45 yards. They couldn't run the ball. Our guys were able to do it, and I felt like we did it, and we did it when we did it, but it should have been earlier. We should have been killing them.
Our run game looked way better than last year too.
Like I said, it's just one of them things where you got to look at it a little bit different. That's all I'm pointing out. Let me bring somebody else in for a minute, Ben.
Yeah, I'm about to get out here. I got the kids with me. We got to go to the crib, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you. Be safe out there driving, man.
No doubt.
All right, people, listen. Again, it's a victory. But I'm telling you, there were so many people who just didn't want to do it. Like, dude. Michael Irvin. Listen to Michael Irvin. Hold on. Let me get him up here. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Can't have that. You don't want no copyright strikes. we can't have that. Give me a second. Let me get it up there. Hold on. Let me get it up there.
Points higher in the passer rating. You can say, man, Detroit's this game I tweeted we're about to see. Get a scary peek at what the Kansas City Chiefs look like. Yeah. Without a true number 1 receiver, which is Travis Kelce, has always been Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. And as much as I would love to give Detroit all the credit, because they have really made some great strides. And you can go in the last night game and you can say, yeah, Jared Goff, man. Jared Goff outplayed Patrick Mahomes, 16 points higher in the passer rating. You can say, man, Detroit's, they won 9 of their last 11 games dating back to week 9 of last year, and that's all great stuff. But the only reason they won that game last night is because that man didn't have his Robin.
Batman didn't have his Robin. First of all, get some goddamn chapstick, okay? Your lips is dry, Michael Irvin. Your lips is looking real dry. The thirsting you is trying too hard. It's funny to me how you make so many excuses for these people that you like Patrick Mahomes. You act like we didn't have people missing. Oh, they didn't have Travis Kelce. We didn't have J-Mo. I can assure you there isn't a DB on that team. If we went deep, that would have stopped them. Oh, they didn't have Chris Jones. Good. We didn't have a guy that we brought in that we was hoping to help us out at cornerback. And Mosley. Yeah, but see, they don't really have receivers. Not my problem. You shouldn't have gave a record deal to your quarterback. Or maybe you should have, but you should have thought about that and invest more money in your defense. You've been giving points up. It's why you lost to the Colts. It's why you have been able to give up so many points to people, but people forget all that. And then you downplay the Lions like we didn't do anything good. We won. And when it mattered, and the time that it mattered, they chewed the hell out of the clock. And for the people who want to say like Michael Irvin, the only reason they won, because they didn't have the Batman. I mean, get the hell out of here. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. People have injuries. People have players out. Your schedule is your schedule. Because guarantee this, had Kansas City won, they'd have been doing that Aaron Rodgers, you're a bad man BS. That's what they would have did. We can't talk about how they went 9 plays, 75 yards, and took off 5 minutes off the clock. Because that defense ain't what you thought it was. See, this is what happens when you get tunnel vision. You start putting fake narratives out there and false hope on people based on one player. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's good. It's Patrick Mahomes. And until you realize, oh, most of these players that you had was never meant to do what they were supposed to do, now we want to come out with the excuses. We can't talk about how they went and chewed out 2 minutes of clock to finish the game and be in a victory formation. When they had to have a first down, they got it. We can't talk about that, right? That part we can't talk about. Because he didn't have Batman. Listen to this sucker stuff that this man is saying. This is some sucker stuff. Instead of saying and telling us why the Lions won, look at the suckerness coming out of Michael Irvin. And then you had to have Keyshawn Johnson correct him.
Last night is because Batman didn't have his Robin, and Robin was sitting on the sideline, and Travis Kelce did not play in that football game. You know what I thought about? I watched, and we'll talk about Patrick Mahomes a lot today, but that one play that he had the football, and it looked like WWE. Somebody was all around his legs, and he still found a way to make that throw, and they dropped that pass. If that would have been Travis Kelce, that would have been the only play. Would have seen that play everywhere on TV all day, but you didn't have the Robin to make the other side of it. And man,
or how about if we don't fumble the damn ball, we up 14-7, and they're chasing us from behind? How about if we don't have a missed snap from Frank Ragnow, because that's his fault? I get it was loud in there, but we had miscues too that lended itself to taking us out of field position. Michael Irvin. Somebody go start a GoFundMe so we can get this man some CarMax. Now, but all these excuses. Let's listen.
Patrick Mahomes looked mortal without Travis Kelce on the other side. So I as much as I
he looked immortal because most quarterbacks need other people around them. But when it was quarterbacks who did it without their best weapon, Stafford, where was this same praise at? See, it's the hype train stuff I'm talking about. Terrible excuses.
Like what Detroit did, I gotta say, no Travis Kelce is the main reason that game.
Keyshawn, get him, please.
Well, I would back you up on that on the offensive side of the ball. No question about it, playmaker. Whenever you lose your number one guy, you have receivers, young receivers trying to figure things out. But then if you look at it on the other side of the ball, there was no pass rush pressure to Jared Goff all day long. He was able to sit back, put the baby to sleep, pat it, deliver it in sync. in rhythm. Yeah, you put that baby to sleep. You know how they pat it. Deliver it within rhythm. And whenever you had that happen from a defensive standpoint, you knew that Detroit was going to feel a certain way. Now let's flip back to the offensive side.
And there's the other part that blows my mind that people don't want to talk about. There's the other part that blows my mind. Not only did the Lions keep their composure to get the win, there was multiple opportunities for Kansas City to make a play, but they didn't because our team did. Our defense stepped up. They showed up and said, enough of this. They the ones who did it. We're not talking enough about how Dan Campbell was able to go in there on halftime, get his team together, and out-coach Andy Reid. Andy Reid even gave us props. That's a good team. They out-coached us. They outplayed us. We had too many miscues. We had drop passes too. But it's even more funny when you look up and realize that a person, it's too many miscues. The Lions could have easily been up big on them. It's not that big of a deal. But to sit up there and act like the only reason is because Batman didn't have Robin. You know the messed up part about this? This is the thing that Michael Irvin don't understand with his analogy. Go and look at their history. I love comic books and comic book movies and everything and TV shows and all. Batman was doing that stuff way before Robin ever came along. And 9 times out of 10, it was him who was saving Robin. Hell, the one time he didn't save him, the Joker killed him. So don't tell me what Batman didn't have. Sometimes Batman get his back broke by Bane. In this case, Bane was the Detroit Lions defense. Michael Irvin. You got people like Mike Tirico talking about put an asterisk by it. Put a hairline on your head. See, I'm disrespectful when people start acting as though we can't just be fair and objective when a team wins. They won. And if you pick them to lose, that's fine. That's fine. We forgive you. But what you don't get to do is act as if though that through all of that, after all that went down, you get to act like, oh, I knew it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. See, it's cool. It's always beautiful to act like you knew it after the fact. It's different when you've been on record for months. Stop trying to be first to make headlines and stop trying to be the first to do this and start to look at it from a matchup standpoint. Yes, I expect the Lions to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Why? Because not only am I a Lions fan, I'm a Seahawks fan. And I already know where their weaknesses lie at. And all you really have to do is just take away Kenneth Walker. Take it away. Because the moment you make Geno Smith start having to throw the ball, it's going to get real interesting. And when you go on the offense and attack them, how would you do it? You just pass. Now you can go on if you want to go pass happy. Feel free. I know they got Tariq Woolen, but outside of that, it's real interesting for you to get some plays. I know that they got Jamal Adams, but it's too many people that you can get the ball to. I just want people to understand that the Lions didn't play their best football and they won. And even when the officials made it harder on them, they never lost composure. They never hung their head. But all this shoulda, woulda, couldas, and if this person caught that, if that person caught that, what if my guy don't fumble? If he catches the ball here, what if my guy don't fumble? We were getting ready to score. At the very least, we would have had 10. 10-7 or 14-7. Either way it go, we were in position for points. What about that? Well, if Kadarius Toney dropped the pass on this down right here when he holding his foot, what about if my guy don't do a dumb snap when we were marching, which put us back another 20 yards? I can do shoulda, woulda, couldas too. The Lions won, people. And you should believe in the Lions. You should be excited about this win. You should be rejoicing in it. Let me bring in my next guest, Chris Wallace. I made him hold on long enough. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Luke?
I'm good, man. Welcome to the show.
Man, it's good to be back, bro. I've been waiting on this.
Listen, bro, I was trying not to be patty today, but I can't help but be realistic about what I saw. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in our offensive coordinator. I was disappointed in our personnel choices. I was disappointed in a lot of things. But at the end of the day, if you would have told me we was not going to play our best football and still win, I'd have said, cool, I'll take it.
Oh yeah, no. I agree to a standpoint, because what people fail to realize is even on defense, man, we didn't do everything we was capable of doing. We are so deep on defense with our rotation. Like, we could have did so many looks, and so don't get me wrong, man. Like Dan Campbell said, I agree with everything he said. We got a lot to clean up, but the same old Lions don't go in there and win that game, whether they got Kelsey or not. The same old Lions still get pummeled by, like, come on, bro. Like, we didn't watch us get carved up by backups that's nobodies, and they got a name of killing our defense is, you know what I'm saying, they show that they way more better to the ball. They super instinctive. They got a lot of ball hawks over there, some dogs that's just running to the ball. Like, even through training camp, bro, Branch was smacking dudes. I'm like, bro, look at this guy. Like, and you gonna mean to tell me that he wasn't even a first round pick and he out here first game, you know, contributing. Now, the offensive plays, Ben Johnson definitely could have been way more creative. And there's, you know, a couple of things. The one thing that kept pissing me off is, like, Goff kept, like, trying to sidestep or whatever, but it's like, dude, you don't see this dude right in front of your face? They didn't jump up to bat the ball down, like, several times. You know, at that point, they waiting for you to throw it at a pump fake or something. You know what I'm saying? But I can't complain too much because, you know, we did get the win, but a real team understands that, okay, we got the win, but this is what we need to do to clean this up. This is what we need to do to clean this up. All in all, man, I'm excited. I'm happy we went in there. We played a good game. And like I said, the old Lions, dude, when we had that fumble loss, that could have broke us. You know what I'm saying? When we did went on fourth down one of those plays and didn't get it. But we kept fighting. We kept coming back. Okay, next play. And Hutch, man. Hutch was, dude, I don't understand why they was not calling that tackle, bro, because he was so far behind the line of scrimmage. Like, if I'm not mistaken, they said that his helmet had to at least line up to the waistline of the center, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Okay, this dude was far behind that. And then, but it's funny because when they was about to run, where was he at? Right on the line of scrimmage. And it was like, you was putting Hutch at a disadvantage, and for him to be like, he didn't cry about it, he didn't give up, he just kept pushing. I mean, like, dude, the fact that Mahomes was running for his life, I was loving it. I was loving it
him the whole time. Listen, when I tell you, like, you know, y'all know me. I don't go for the obvious things. And, he was no, it was so obvious. I was like, good grief. And you know what's funny? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Hutch made one big bad decision one time. It was one time. It was just one time. The more I look at it, the more I just like, you know what? That was the only time he made a dumb decision. I'm gonna see if I can find it. All right, I found it. This is the one time that he made a bad decision because I think this is when he got undisciplined. I think this is where he kind of lost himself. First of all, let me shout out my people who I subscribe to and rock with. You know what I'm saying? Because I want people to, you know, to get their flowers. But this right here is the football scout. I am a sub of his, and he was quick to get the film out. This is the only play that I thought he had a brain fart on, and I think that he got undisciplined. This is 3rd and 6.
Okay.
It's 3rd and 6. He right here. I don't know if you see my mouse. Can you see the mouse on him?
Yep. I see him right side.
All right, he right there. You cannot spin inside on this play.
Okay. Yep. And you know what? And I remember this conversation very vividly. Me, you, I think a couple other guys, when we was on the panel or whatever, we was talking, and that was the one. Remember that what game was that where Hutch kept spinning and he was like spinning out of sacks? Like, why are you spinning? You could have had him just keep pushing or go under or
You gotta stay outside.
Yeah, I think he got desperate at that point, and that because he was noticing that, okay, I'm doing everything I can to try to get to Mahomes, and I'm just not getting through. So like he's like, at this point, let me just throw something and pray that it worked. But it's like that spinning is because you gotta think about your direction and weight of which way you spinning and your off foot, and then coming into that as an emotion for you to still be, because if you spin and you might put yourself out of position, which obviously he has done. So it's like, but what I do like though is that we didn't see a lot of that. Like, so he learned how to calm down and minimize and just, stick with it. But
that was 3rd and 6. And on 3rd and 6, by you going inside like that, you gave him an outside
you
lane.
gave him an outside lane. Exactly.
You know what I mean? But even on that play right there, why wasn't James Houston on the field?
I agree.
You know what I mean? Even on that play, James Houston needs to be on the field on that down. It's 3rd and 6.
And see, that's the thing, and that's the package that I thought that they would do mostly on third down. Like, okay, we're gonna get this pressure. We got Hutch. Let's go ahead and have Houston up in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's one game, and like you said, they got a lot to clean up. So it's just, I don't know if they just prepare for them a certain way. And it's like, honestly, when they don't got Kelsey, they don't got arguably the 2 best players on both sides of their ball. Because, like, okay, yeah, you got Pat Mahomes, but look, everybody was sitting there, oh, Pat Mahomes is enough. Pat Mahomes is enough, and this and that. Like, no, bro, because we've all watched great quarterbacks with nobody to throw to. That was the same thing with Goff at one point when he was, then he ended up having a receiver, but then even with, Aaron Rodgers, he made something out of nothing, or at least tried to. But like, come on, bro, who was his wide receiver core for real? Like,
I mean, listen, there were so many moments that made me so proud. That I'm still amazed at the fact that we got to see these moments. This is another one. I want to just highlight things, right? And again, I told you I can't remember all these people's names, but I can remember the numbers. I feel like this is Levi Onwuzurike. I could be wrong. That looked like 91 to me. If it looked like to me, he just whoops this dude's like hind parts. Okay, look at this. And if you look, like, bro, you can't make this up.
You can't. That was clean, dude. That was literally like almost 3 seconds. Not even.
And see, this is stuff that kills me. They always want to talk about the drops, but here go Patrick Mahomes trying to be special.
Doing too much.
Watch where this ball goes. Come on, bro.
But see, this is the thing, though, and people don't like to realize this about elite quarterbacks. But I understand the whole, argument about, the quarterback is great. If he's not throwing the ball, then the receivers ain't catch. Okay, but it's vice versa. They basically eat off the same play, because if your wide receivers is not good, I don't care how good your quarterback can throw the ball if they not catching it. But guess what? I don't give a crap if your team ain't catching the ball. I don't give a crap if y'all injured or don't got your best people, because guess what? We've dealt with that literally since I've been a Lions fan. We've always had riddled with injuries, or didn't have games where we didn't have Megatron or didn't have Matthew Stafford. But everybody want to make all these, excuses now that, why can't y'all just give us our flowers? We went into the Super Bowl champs, defended Super Bowl champs stadium in Arrowhead, and for the record, Goff is now 2-0 versus on 2 different teams. Like, that's hilarious. And then what I love the most is Goff didn't give the ball up. He didn't throw a perfect game, and he definitely, got some rust or whatever. But man, I can't take really a lot away from it negatively. I've seen a lot more good things than negative, but the negative things are things that's very manageable.
I got 50-50. I got 50-50 good, 50-50 bad, because I felt like there was some things early on that I'm like, that puts you in the hole that you didn't need to be in. You know what I'm saying? We should have been playing ahead from the entire time.
Now, what I didn't like is that we didn't emphasize on the run game more because come on, they don't got Chris Jones. We should have been running it up the gut all game. Stop us.
Listen, let me just show you how you can break this down. There's so many ways you can look at this, right? Let's just say we just look at the runs that happened. David Montgomery had 21 carries for 74 yards. Now that averages out to 3.5 yards a carry, right?
Right.
And his longest one was 8 yards. But Jameer Gibbs,
it's gonna be good.
But Jameer Gibbs had 7 carries for 42 yards, which averaged out to 6 yards a carry.
Right.
And we already know that Jared Goff got to do five runs, which is a -1. So that, kind of messed up the overall averages. But guess what? They really couldn't stop the run.
They couldn't.
And then the other part of it is this. There was one play where I think it was 4th and 2. Jared Goff had a lane to run, and he tried to throw it instead. I get it. That ain't his game. It is what it is. But there were so many things that just ticked me off.
Yeah, I feel like it was more on the offensive side than defense when it comes to the things that could get cleaned up the most. And then, like you said, the play calling wasn't bad, but like we should have exploited their weakness more. We know y'all can't stop the run. Y'all don't got arguably the second or first, in some people opinion, best defensive tackle in the league. And that's the same thing I said when I was watching the game last night with my buddy. I said, look, bro, all we got to do is run it up y'all throat. Y'all, if y'all can't stop Montgomery, y'all can't stop Gibbs, and then we start seeing, and it's like, yeah, we can still do our, play action, whatever, but it's like, I get it. Y'all want to get the offense rolling, get everybody, but it's like, I felt like I don't know how to put this. Okay, I feel like where our team is at right now, regardless if we was playing the Chiefs, we should have beat the shit out of them. Cause y'all ain't have we should have really wrecked y'all. That shouldn't have been like. I mean, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes, Blase Split, but come on, bro. They couldn't run on us. It was hell for him all game. He was like living uncomfortably under a rock where Patrick starts somewhere. Like the man was just running for his life. It was like, dude, and I understand you going in the Arrowhead, they stadium, Blase Split, but I felt like we could have exposed them to the point where we could have put up more points. But who shuts out Patrick Mahomes on the second half of the day opener? Like, I love the way the flashes of the rookies played. Like, and you even made that point. I remember that conversation. I don't care where you get picked. Are you going to come in? Are you going to be an immediate impact, dude? I saw immediate impact.
That's it.
I didn't see not one liability, bro. Laporta, he did beautiful blocking. He was good in the passing game. Jameer Gibbs was with everything I thought he was going to be. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit up there. It's one game, but just the flashes of what we saw today. And this is the thing. We're not trying to come down from no 1-6. This is the first game of the season. So now we can build on that. And this is the thing, man. When you get a hungry team like that wins, and it's like, we not coming up trying to get even 500. We not demoralized already. Like, no, they still riding that wave. And they like, no, this is who we are.
Very good point that you bring up, because to the people who wanted to point out that Kansas City was like 8-0 in opening day, and how Patrick Mahomes has never thrown an interception. There's a lot of people in media that did that, right? To those people who said that and talk like that, guess what? The Lions are still on a win game. On a win streak from last year. Think about that.
What's that, like 9 out of the last 11 games?
Yeah, come on now.
Like, so y'all can't just downplay that, bro.
For people to say and talk about that, let's talk about the history we broke. The Lions won an opening day game, and they didn't do it against a slouch team. They didn't do it against a team. They did it against a team that just won the Super Bowl on opening day on primetime television.
Primetime, whole world watching.
And to the people who talk about same old Lions and say stuff like that, same old Lions. It can't be same old Lions no more. It can't even be same old Lion fans, because same old Lion fans wouldn't have showed up and made that stadium blue.
Wake up! Wake up!
What's up, boss? You believe that? Hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Do you believe?
They don't believe it. They don't believe it.
They gonna learn today though.
They gonna learn.
They gonna
Man,
learn today,
I told everybody the Lions is about to put everybody on notice. The team, y'all saw it happening. And dude, when I was going through and I'm seeing these draft picks and everybody, oh, we all picked him too high. You know what? No, they saw weapons that they didn't want nobody else to get. And before I even finished my sentence, thank you, Green Bay, for trading, because I was just watching the In the Den or whatever. So thank y'all for giving us the pick to get Brian Branch. I hope he terrorized Jordan Love for the rest of his career. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
It's gonna be fun to watch, man. It was so many people who started like they was on the hype train and then they bailed out. So it is what it is, man. Let me get the other people in so we can kind of get a panel going. We can talk about it. Let me bring back in Detroit D and Crimson Shadow. And again, if you want to join the show and talk the sports with me, the link is pinned up on the chat. I'm all ears for it. I'll be on for a few more minutes. I just want people to pay attention to what's going on. And like I said, look, let me just show this play because I think this is something that I really want to point out to the people, just so they can see it for themselves, right? And he's clearly highlighting Aiden Hutchinson here, but I want to watch James Houston, okay? And I really want you to just look at some things. Let's start off with this line right here. Look where his foot at on this line. And look where this man at. His front foot is where his back foot is. This is ridiculous. But watch James Houston over here. Just look at James right here. Real quick over here. You want to talk, and then listen, when you really look at it, you know it was a bad day for Patrick Mahomes when he looked up and it's two people in the same area. They tried to do this little crossing chip shot route. It wasn't having it. They come over here. He's got him looking. He's looking directly at him. He don't get completely done dirty. Levi is no, that ain't even Levi. I think that's Alex. Alex Anzalone, right? Look at this. Look at the blitz. We're not giving Aaron Glenn the credit. There he go, Malcolm Rodriguez. We're not giving Aaron Glenn the credit for this. No. We're not giving him this. This man is throwing the ball under duress. We're not giving him the love for this. Look at this. That man pushed him in his line of sight and everything. And this right here is the play I was talking about where this should have been a pick. Go for the ball, bro. But I think he wanted to knock his block off. That's what that was. That's what that was.
It is kind of violent.
So again, people, you should be excited. Don't let nobody tell you that that what you did is not major. Don't let nobody tell you that what the Lions did. But understand that we got work to do. You don't become the fan who just get happy,
right?
That we got the win. I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you just happy when you get the win. The Vikings of last year, it was so fraudulent. They had the winning record and everything, but when it mattered, they couldn't show nothing.
They was imposters, man.
Yeah, so you have to be able to not just fall in love with the win, fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the process, man. That's all I'm asking. Again, if you want to join, the link is in the description.
And see, another thing I feel like, Luke, is people got to understand is that when you talking about game planning, because look, I play a lot of Madden leagues and I love football. I used to play football in high school and stuff. So it's like I love the strategic part. And it's like even when we win in the games, there might be times where I'm playing safety, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm not coming in the box as much, or there'll be other games where I'm nickel, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm safety in the box with the linebacker. So it's like, man, we got so much versatility and so many things we could do on defense. I'm just worried about really our depth at wide receiver on offense, because it's like, you know, outside of St. Brown until J-Mo get there, it's like, you know, we gonna really have to be. I'm not downplaying Marvin Jones or Reynolds, but it's like those guys get shut down. Who do we got to throw to? I mean, we got Laporta, and I feel like he's gonna grow into a good threat. So I just feel like we may need another just established wide receiver to kind of take that.
I mean, I think Green's worth a shot. We haven't seen what he can do yet.
No, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Green.
Antoine Green.
I forgot about Green.
Listen, we didn't have J-Mo last year and still had a number one scoring offense.
Yeah, we did. That's true.
My thing is this: why disrupt it? Go ahead, Detroit D.
I don't think J-Mo gonna make that big of a difference, man. He's not a
I don't either.
catcher of the ball.
I don't, which is why I was not happy about that draft pick and why I'm like, man, you should take a linebacker instead of the receiver.
Well, I wasn't so much saying as far as him being like that much of an impact, but I was just saying he's just another.
I mean,
just another threat. Another guy on the field that opens it up for.
Got to honor him.
Right.
This argument too. Once J-Mo's out there, you're gonna have to cover him more so than you're gonna have to do Amon-Ra. So just
and if Jameer keep playing, ooh boy, that boy.
Every play I thought he was going to go the distance. It was scary.
Dude, that commentator said it perfectly. You can hear the acceleration, bro. I spilled my beer on my Jordans like 6 times last night, bro. Because every time I saw him take off and break a tackle, I'm like, oh.
It's one of the things where that's why when people say, "Oh, he reminds them of Elvin Kamara," I'm like, Javid Best without the concussion. That's how I do it. Shout out to my man Numbers J, who's in the building. I will be live on a show, I believe, on the 11th of this month. I think I'm still good for that. So when that time comes, I'll be posting in the community page. Also, if you have not joined the Pick'em League, it has only been one game. It has only been one game. There is still time for you to join. All of the information is in the description. The league name, the password, everything is already there. You just have to join and get in there. And I can tell you this much right now. I looked at our Pick'em League today, and boy, oh boy, was I surprised. I was very surprised at what I saw, because Lions fans, there is a group of Lions fans who 100% believe. They believe without no question that, this is what should happen. This is how it should go. In case you were wondering, in our own Pick'em League, only 3 people picked the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 people out of 45 people picked the Kansas City Chiefs.
I love to hear that.
All I know is them 3 people better not be Detroit Lions fans.
Well, I mean, they all are. I mean, they know who they are. I ain't gonna show who it is just yet, because I don't want.
No, be petty, Luke, because I want to ridicule somebody. That is not.
I mean, I didn't pick them, but I get it. I do get it.
Nah, yeah, but yeah. So I'm just saying, to see that lets me know. Like I said, we can't talk about same old Lions. We can't do these other things. It just is what it is.
But that's the thing, though, bro. The fans gonna have to change with the team, bro. If y'all keep thinking or just give them a shot. Look, bro, I'm so like I've been made fun of because I'm a Detroit fan, Michigan fan all around, bro. So, and I'ma still talk my ish because it's like, this my team, bro. Like, I don't care. This my team. Like, I'm gonna go down with the ship, bro. When they doing bad, they doing bad. But guess what? When they doing good and we balling, it makes it that much better. That's just like my friends used to, oh yeah, well, y'all only beat us one time. Well, guess what? You ever got bullied in school and got beat up by that bully every day? And then one day you just fed up and you just gave him the hands, bro. And guess what? That one behind whooping I gave you was better than any behind whooping you gave me ever.
Man.
Now, I want to point this out. I want to point out some things too, because I want to make sure I get this out. Super Saiyan Lions fans, JT.Sports, Kapler fans, Blue Jay Star. We looking at y'all. Y'all, boy, you out cold, Black Spirit. 1991 Max Stagg says facts. My man Norman says, y'all do know we still can't run the ball in the red zone for points. I don't know if I agree with that or not.
We can't do that. We did that last year.
Well, no, he's not talking about last year. You can't see. This is the thing. The last year talk dead. The new season started.
We did it last night. Look.
And we did run it in the red zone for a touchdown. That was the David Montgomery.
That was a Montgomery, yeah.
So, but my thing is another reason why I don't necessarily agree with it is I don't know if I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs defense was the right defense to be able to say, hey, we can't run it in the red
to be tested on because they didn't have Chris Jones.
And they're not their defense has been suspect for real. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. They're missing a lot of people that they didn't have. Like, so it's, I mean, to say that, I'm just not buying it. You know what I mean? And again, for the little video I did that showed if they believe, I don't know if y'all caught the T Grizzly beating the back, but I was trying to have fun with it. Let me know if y'all like that or not.
Yeah, that was dope.
If you did, I might have to just post
I
that.
was freestyling in my head and everything, bro.
Hey, Luke, check this out, y'all.
Yes, sir.
A question. Y'all remember the play they gave it to Gibbs, and he broke it to the right, and he kind of stumbled and fell.
Yeah.
I think he was finna do something on that play, but
if he don't
boy,
that's a touchdown.
Boy, that's what I'm thinking.
I
Luke.
swear.
If he don't stumble,
that
that's
was definitely a touchdown. No, that was Jetters, bro. Nobody's catching him.
Yeah, listen, I think the way he cut that thing back, he would have been gone. And you know what? It's another player that I want to spotlight because I don't think people talking about him enough. Big V. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand. Big V was out there giving people blessings. There was a few times where Big V was like, yeah, this is not going to work. Let me get you over here. And I was happy to see it. There were times where Big V overset himself a little bit, but for the most part, Big V had a really good game. And like I said, all the shoulda, woulda, couldas, don't get me started, people. Let me see. Make sure I ain't missed much. I want to say, bro, I have the Lions making it to the NFC Championship, so don't throw my name in there. No, I believe he's trying to say as you took the Kansas City Chiefs, but there are some people who didn't select their team. There's still time for you to join the Pick'em League, man. It's something fun to do. The last time we had it, Big T was the Pick'em League winner, and it wasn't even close, to be honest with you. It was.
Oh, can I bring up something real quick, Luke?
Go ahead, man.
Okay, so I noticed a lot of people, even like the media or whatever, they was like overshadowing the pick. Oh, well, if he catches that, or if Travis Kelce, if whatever. I don't care. Y'all got to give that man his props. For him to be running in almost the opposite direction, catch the ball on the dime, or basically in stride with one hand, secure it. Like 90% of the corners is not doing that in the league. That's a drop pass, a batted down incompletion. That he changed the game, the momentum of the game. Like,
go ask Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It went right through his hands,
right through his.
And he didn't have to worry about going a different direction. That's all I'm saying,
man. I'm so freaking envious of the Kansas City.
That wide receiver.
Jonah was getting beat like a slave the first half. Let me be fair about this. Let me be fair about this, C. Perry, because I'm not saying that you're wrong, but let me be fair about this. You ran the ball one time, and you passed it a whole lot in the first early on stages of it. And we didn't play none of our starters in preseason. Everything they got was through joint practice, right? I'm going to give a little bit of love. A little bit of love. Just off the fact that it was the first game and that it quickly corrected itself, because it does take game reps in real game situations. Plus, I hate to say it, it was becoming even more harder when you're trying to make sure you're able to time yourself with the snapper, and the center a few times just didn't snap the ball. We got a delay a game that put us back, and I'm like, come on, man.
Was that the play where everybody jumped with him, or everybody got ready for him? He was just still sitting there like, oh.
Who's ever heard a call like that before? Everybody but the center.
Everybody but the center. I was dying, bro.
When I first heard that, it reminded me of The Replacements, the movie The Replacements, where they was like, this person, because they all did that weird stuff, and they was like, everybody but the center. I was like, damn. Because I don't think he heard it. My man Adam say, hi, friend. What's going on, brother? This is Adam doing something. This is terrible. Josh Pascal. He was another guy who performed. I was really happy.
Yeah, he was really. Kaminsky was nice too, man.
Oh, Super Saiyan said, yeah, he didn't make a pick because he got in too late. So it is what it is. But listen, I've seen people in the league jump in like week 3 and still be in the top 5 because people just forget to put their picks in, or they pick the wrong games. You have to be able to analyze these games for matchups and get it right, and that's just the bottom line. All right, people. I have been on for an hour and 40 minutes. I thought my man Dan was gonna come on. If he don't, I'm gonna probably go on to his channel because I know he's going live at 8 o'clock, and I'm gonna harass him over there. I would love it if you all came. Matter of fact, let me just show you. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find it first because I want to make sure that he gets his. I'm gonna go over there and harass the hell out of him.
Please,
I gotta
send me in the Discord. I'll come to that.
Yeah, I have to go and harass him. If I don't, it wouldn't be right. Okay, it just wouldn't be right if I didn't go over there and harass him, because he had it in his mind that Matt Nagy was a better offensive coordinator than Ben Johnson, and the reality is, for all the practical calls that's going on, I'm telling you, I would not go and coach with Andy Reid other than if I wanted to learn, because he clearly called in those plays. That damn fourth down play where they motion people was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. But essentially, let me just show y'all what it looks like here.
Hey, don't forget, he said AG was going to cost us.
He did, and if you're not in my Discord, that is also in there. So please check it out. But you know me, I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. And again, just for the record, Crimson, how quick were people quick to say AG was the problem when it was going bad?
Oh, like that. And it was just basically you and me, the only ones really saying that was Ben Johnson effing it up. I'm like, what the heck is our offense isn't generating anything? How are we going to play the defense? Defense is the only thing keeping us alive here.
Right. All right, listen, let me go down the list, man. Detroit D, my brother, thank you for coming through. Give the people your final thoughts as we get up out of here.
I just think, man, we headed in the right direction, Luke. If barring injuries, a major injury to anybody, man, we're gonna have a strong season. And what's gonna really be so gangster is that the draft gonna be in the D next year, and we changing. You get our new uniform.
Oh, we're gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit. Believe it. Coming off a nice playoff run, or you know what I'm saying. Hey, man, it's gonna be lit, man.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. So I'm putting a link in the chat so y'all can get to Dan's channel. Dan is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so yes, he was very proud of himself. So it is in the chat. And he is. He's crazy. He's Dan is really cool. He knows his stuff. He's all about the sports betting. But yeah, he was talking a little wild the other day. And guess what?
So he talking spicy, huh?
Yeah, he's talking real spicy. But guess what? The police have to come and take care of that. He's doing that at 8 o'clock. So I'm finna go over there and have a whole lot of fun. It's finna be so. I'm gonna try to keep it real clean, but it is what it is. Hutchinson set the bar high. One of the things about people they don't understand about me when it comes to Aiden Hutchinson or any player that we add to our D line, I don't necessarily always get caught up in the numbers. But when it comes to a DN, you got to get sacks. However, I always take more credence on the person who not only can make the plays, but have an intangible ability to cause people to panic. They started rotating people over there towards him, chipping him, choking him, and everything else to stop him. And when you can do that, that's big-time football. That's how it gets done. So I'm excited about it. Crimson Shadow, give the people your final thoughts before we get up out of here.
Well, my final thoughts would have to be this. I'm jealous of Kansas City, Pittsburgh, any of the big-time franchises out there. They seem to get all this love. And all of a sudden, it's like, I think to myself, if our receivers are dropping passes or if our guys were injured, would they be showing us pity? No, they wouldn't. They would just say, same old Lions. They would just send us down river and just, oh, it's how it goes. Oh, no, but if Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are gone, oh, here's the pity party. Oh, here, you couldn't help it. You didn't have Case. You didn't have your Batman. All you had is Robin. Cry me a fucking river. Please come at me next week with that same energy. Please.
Yes.
It feeds us. It just makes us want to kick your teeth in.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Chris Wallace, give the people your final thoughts before we get out of here.
Man, my final thoughts is, first of all, man, I just want to say that I'm blessed to be here back on the show, just to football back, man. Like, I've been going through a lot of crazy crap. I ain't even trying to get sentimental, Luke, but, like, we had a big storm up here, tornadoes, man. I got struck by lightning in my car. Like, so I'm just grateful, bro. I got a lot of stuff going in my life, but, I'm happy because it's like, other than, my kids, I got football. You know what I'm saying? Like something that I love that keeps me distracted and focused is nice. So, but what I want to get to as far as that is man, I love the direction we going. I like the tempo, the energy, the fight, you know, and as long as they, you know, like they said, clean it up and, you know what I'm saying, give, you know, more. I want to see Ben Johnson do a lot better, especially with calling the plays. So, and we owe Seattle one. We owe them. I'm going to need that in blood. And that's the home. And that's the home. I'm going to need that in blood, bro. Because I don't care about the Kansas City Chiefs game no more.
It's non-conference. Yeah, this one is conference. So,
this conference.
So
can we back up here? Did you say you got struck by lightning in your car?
Well,
yeah. I
was
basically stepping out of my car, but I was like halfway in, halfway out with my, you know, my hand on the knob, getting ready to go to work or whatever. It was nuts, man.
Let me just say this. One, I'm happy to hear that you okay. You know, I don't usually talk religion on here or anything like that, but I can tell you this much: you are often put in the right place at the right time for a reason. Because when a car is struck by lightning, the car turns to a huge conductor and grounds it out to the ground.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm happy to hear that you safe. And I know there's been a lot of tornadoes and wild stuff happening, and that's just the stuff that we know in terms of the natural disaster. But to have you here, I appreciate it, and I'm thankful. And I'm gonna keep on putting my thoughts and my spiritual appreciation in the right direction for you and anyone else who needs it. Now, people, you know me, I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. First of all, to the doubters, to the people who didn't believe, to the people who had a hard time believing, this is going to be.
Do you believe?
This is just the reality of it. Today's positive quote comes from the internet. I don't know who wrote it, but it's the best one of all. Be the writer of your narrative. I'm gonna say it again. Be the writer of your narrative. See, some of y'all have a tendency to allow other people be the author of your story. And when you let somebody else be the author of your story, you tend to get some elaborated stories that came out of nowhere. You tend to get some things that should not have happened and your story be added in. See, when you was describing things like you walk down the street, it somehow turned into you walk through a storm. When you were trying to write and tell people that, hey, I had some hardships, but I came through it, it somehow turns into, well, not much has happened. But when you are the writer of your own story, you are the master of that narrative, the story can be told in its fullest. The story can be told in its truthfulness. The story can be given in a way that allows you to display who you really are. The best thing about a person who writes their own narrative is that everybody else gets to read that book. There is no assumptions. There is no guessing. There is no judging the cover. There is just simply understanding that every word that's coming out of here was real. When you let somebody else be the writer, when you let somebody else be the master of your ship and be the master of your narrative, at the end of the day, what you're going to find out is what they write about you is not what they know about you, but what they think and feel should be written about you. It's time for you to take that pen or pencil or whatever you're using or that you're using to get that word out and word and take it back. Because guess what? While you are sitting up there letting other people write your narrative for you, us people who love you and care about you are still waiting for the real story. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And as always, if you don't do nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Do you believe?
We out, people.